Hey, welcome back to another High Performance Leadership Mind Tool. If you are here, you're probably a dedicated business leader, executive, or entrepreneur, or well on your way to doing so. And aside from that, you probably already made your investment into the High Performance Leadership Journal. If you have not already, there'll be a link below. Feel free to do so and check it out on your own time. But today we're focusing in on a specific mind tool called Niche Offer Result Hypothesis Worksheet. So why is this important? This is important whether you are a new starting company or whether you are Fortune 500, okay? And ultimately what it is that we're trying to do is we're trying to get you to understand and get feedback from the market as soon as possible, all right? Nothing is more important regarding your time, your resources, your staff and relationships, and your revenue. We call it the 3 R's: revenue, resources, relationships. Nothing is more important in preserving those and making sure they're being allocated in the right direction than the Niche Offer Result Hypothesis Worksheet. Here we say it. Let's take some time and go through this. It says, one of the greatest talents a leader can possess is the ability to predict. We believe that wholeheartedly, okay? It's not about talent. It's not about talent. It's about your ability to understand trends, gather insights, do a market analysis, and respond in a right amount of time, okay? We drastically increase our chances of success when we know what is about to happen. The marketplace is a dynamic and complex arena. So we enhance predictability through research and testing. The Niche Offer Result Worksheet helps you to document what really works and ask the proper questions to get to market with speed, and gain traction fast. As you work on your new product, service, work through each of these questions. And so from there, it gets pretty simple. It's prompted just like any of the other mind tools that we will have you to do up to this point. And we're just asking specific questions to make sure that you've actually gone into and understand what it is that the market is saying about you at this given time. And so right here we have what we call part one, and part one is the pre-market. So it's just based off of what we think is happening. It's a hypothesis, okay? Based off of your hypothesis, and you should have a hypothesis right now before you begin to lean into bringing a new product to market or expanding on a product that's already in the market, right? Before we go about doing that, we have to do the pre-market work, and we have to have a hypothesis. Here is where business leaders go wrong. We think that because we have a hypothesis, and even further, because we have something that we believe that the marketplace needs, then we go and start marketing, and that's completely wrong. We have to give the marketplace what the marketplace wants. It's good that we know what the marketplace needs. That's what makes us a savvy business leader, and that's what makes us a savvy entrepreneur. But ultimately, if you want people's money, you have to give them what they want. And that's where the market research comes into play, okay? And so from there, we're going to focus on the niche, and you'll be able to supply information regarding the niche that you're currently in. And what is the current situation, or what is the actual pain point that they're experiencing? Okay, from there, we go into the desired situation. What is it that they ultimately would desire to happen? Okay, and that's really simple. It's going to have something to do with alleviating that pain that they're experiencing and being on the other side of that pain, right? And then what version is this hypothesis? How many times have you actually gone into the marketplace and gotten feedback? And this is all pre-market, okay? So again, this is all what we would have expected you to have done at some point and to properly be able to penetrate the marketplace, right? So let's go on to the next set of questions that this section asks us, because this is probably the most, this is probably one of the most intricate mind tools that you will utilize inside of the HPL journal. But it's built that way on purpose because it's probably one of the most powerful and impactful as well. All right, based on the chart, what is the minimum work possible that you could do to help your niche go from their current situation to their desired situation? This question is based off of a law. Some people might look at it and say, why would you want to make sure that we're doing the minimum amount of work? There's actually a law that speaks to this, and the law says that usually the quickest way to your result is typically the simplest thing that you can do. All right, the quickest way to your result is typically the simplest thing you can do. So we want to always take the simplest action, not only for you, but for the sake of your team, because when it comes to documentation and making this a replicable process within your business, it has to be simple in order to get people to buy into it, right? And so that's another reason that we focus and we like this question so much. If you're doing done for you, map out exactly what you would be doing for them and how long it would take. If you're doing coaching or some form of advisory, make sure that you map out a 6 to 12 week program to actually be able to achieve whatever it is you're doing. Now, these are just simple examples, right? But and they're based around service, but you could very well have a product and the same thing would apply. Okay. Number 2, what is a fair yet high price that you could charge for this offer? Now, it's pretty much split into two consensus in the marketplace. All right, you have people who charge a low amount of money and say that they're going to sell to a lot of people, and you have people who charge a lot of money and they say they're going to sell to a low amount of people. All right, how well you go about I think you should have both. I think you should have a product that is a fairly low nominal value that could reach a lot of people, and I think you should have a high price value product or service that only a few people can afford. Okay. And so when you do that, when it comes to your pricing, you have to make sure that it's high, because you need margins. And what we mean when we say high is that it should have at least a 20% margin on it. Okay. If you don't have at least a 20% margin, you're making it very difficult for yourself to scale and bring in the talent behind, or even just improve the current processes or product that you have in place right now. And that makes it harder to reach new people, okay? So then from there, how certain are you of your niche on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being totally uncertain and 10 being absolutely certain? This comes from just about anyone great who's done anything in business, be it Sam Walton or be it Jeff Bezos. They have been noted for this one thing I'm about to say, and that's just being obsessed with the client. Just being obsessed with your buyer. You have to be obsessed. You have to know where your buyers, you have to know them better than they do, because once that happens, they will trust you like they trust better, more than they trust themselves. Okay? More than they trust themselves, for sure, because you will have more insights to their problems than they can. And human nature is so interesting, because the moment that a person feels that you know their problem better than they do, they also feel that you have the solution. And that's a great place for you to be in, right? So just simply understanding your niche and know who they are. Obviously, your circle. I encourage you, like I have in the past on any other video, if you've been following me for, say, the last 10 years, you know, this 1 to 10 consensus question is something that I ask a lot, right? Because a lot of it, especially if it's if I'm looking for qualitative feedback on a scale of 1 to 10, how did this make you feel, right? Something along those lines is qualitative feedback. And so right here, to some degree, it's qualitative for you, because it's based on certainty, right? And only you can answer that. It's subjective. But what I want you to do when you circle is just try to avoid this number 8 right here, okay? I want you to avoid the number 8. All right? I want you to avoid that number 8 because, I want you to avoid the number 7. I want you to avoid the number 7, okay, on all of these, because 7 is like a fail-safe number in most cases, or you probably heard me say that before. But because it's a fail-safe number, we want to actually remove it, and now we can get a clear consensus. Does this individual have a fairly high degree of confidence, one that would almost inevitably lead to impact, income, or influence? or does this person not necessarily have that? And that number 7 is usually like the break-even point, okay? So I encourage you to go and use any other number outside of that, okay? You're just going to go through these questions, fairly simple prompts that you'll be able to answer all the way through, okay? Not a problem at all. Now, it's not over yet. Like I said, this one is one of the more comprehensive. And now we get into part 2, okay? And now into part 2, this is live market feedback. So part 1 was pre-market. Now we're in live market feedback, okay? And something that I think most entrepreneurs, business leaders, executives drop the ball on is reps. Reps. And that's actually what we make you do first out of the gate first. Start crossing off the numbers as you start speaking with the market and testing your hypothesis by making them the offer stated in this hypothesis worksheet. Okay, so you're going to craft that offer. That's what we did in phase 1. And now in part 2, we actually have to get in front of people. This is all a part of it. We have to get in front of people. And we have to make at least 50 offers. Okay? We have to make at least 50 offers. And then we're going to figure out what are the objections that are being given. All right? We're going to get face-to-face, however it is you need to get face-to-face. If that's cold call, if that's email, if you already have the circle of influence and you can leverage that, if it's data, if it's whatever the case may be, we need to get in front of 50 people and ask these questions. You can see here, you should make at least 20 to 30 offers before you even determine whether your hypothesis was true or false. And it should be your ideal client. It shouldn't be 20 or 30 people who would never buy your product. There should be people who are a quality prospect, or they may not necessarily be a lead. They're just a quality prospect. This is a person who could potentially be a candidate for this service. These are the individuals you want to be asking, okay? I can promise you that by the time you get to 20, you'll have a clear consensus as to what people think about the product that you're trying to offer to the marketplace, okay? But let's keep it going. So obviously, what are the objections? What are the things that they like or that they're interested in? And how are the conversations ending? What's the conclusion of each call? I mean, is there a sentiment of, hey, what's next? Or is it a sentiment of, goodbye, don't call me back, right? You have to get clear on that if you're going to add value in the lives of your clients, all right? And then, and I mean, it just kind of is what it is. The best way we know to do that today is really through a survey format, you know? Gathering this information in a way that allows some degree of discretion and anonymity is likely is going to be important to whoever your buyer is, assuming that you don't have high touch. If you have high touch, then it might not be as difficult of a conversation to be had because you all would have grown a relationship and there's some rapport there, obviously. Low touch, SaaS products, things of that nature. Really, surveys is the main way that you go about getting your insights and information. Or like I said, just picking up the phone and giving a call will always get it done. Cold calling still is a high value skill set, regardless of how people feel about it. Okay. So here, what patterns are emerging? What things keep recurring? What is it that we see or hear over and over again? Is it based off of the quarter that we're in, the season? These will determine those things. Political impact, anything of that nature. Legislative, these will all be determined according to that. Based on the above state, ways that in which you can improve your niche offer results hypothesis. So it's just feedback for you, right? It's a moment of review for you and figuring out how you can, one, improve your offer. I'd much rather just see you improve your offer, because your offer is really going to be the break point in most cases for you and anyone else that's in the same marketplace. I do not believe in competition, but it's just simple. There are really 3 primary things that we focus on when it comes to the sales from a very, very high level, okay? And the first thing is the market, okay? again, we have to give the market what the market wants. That's the only way to make money. You can't set out to give the market what the market needs. Even if you can see ahead and you're right, if the market doesn't believe that you're right, they're not going to give you money. And so we have here the market, then we have offer, and then we have pretty much sales or persuasion. And this is the flow of everything. If you and me are in the same market right here, well, what separates us? In most cases, the only thing that'll separate you and me, and we're in the same market and we both sell pens, the only thing that would separate us is going to be next, the offer. Okay, there is no separation here, and we're selling a commodity, so there's only so much of a price margin difference that'll be there, right? And so that goes to the offer. And now your offer might be, a pack of 10 for $5, and my offer might be a pack of 20 for $5. Well, naturally, who wins in that offer? Well, that offer, I have a better offer than you would in that situation, so therefore I probably win the sale. Well, what if that was reversed or flipped around and you sold not just black pens, but you sold a variety of colors of pens, right? Now your offer is more valuable than mine, and therefore it would lend to the ear of the buyer in that particular situation. Now, what if we're in the same market, we're both selling pens, same price point, same offer? Then it's all about the sell, right? It's our persuasion, I would even say. It's all about my ability to persuade you that my pen's brand in some way, shape, or form elevates your status or creates more freedom, more breakthrough opportunity in your life. And then that becomes the thing. But that takes me selling that to you. That takes me having great salesmanship versus just the offer being fantastic, right? Or versus the market. I encourage you to dance in this arena, because you can't control who enters the market. You also can't always control how well you're able to persuade a person. People are going to do what people are going to do. You can't control humans, but you can absolutely control the offer. This is just creativity, and you have an unlimited amount of creativity that you can leverage, right? So this is a simple framework to go about viewing how we approach bringing a new offer or a new product to the marketplace, whichever it may be. Go ahead, take some time out, complete this. You got some work ahead, okay? But we talked through each one of the phases, part 1 and part 2. Once you get to, I'm excited to hear your feedback. Go ahead and comment below on this. Let us know a way that if you feel like this could be improved or something, or another component can be added to it, or if there's a question that you have, comment below and we'll absolutely get to it. We monitor these and we check these, so feel free to comment below, and we look forward to hearing from you. My name is Mark Niesman. You just witnessed another high performance mind tool through the High Performance Leadership Journal. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next episode. Until then, fix your crown and rule the day.